What's up, everyone? This is Cross, aka Adam, back with another AEW Week in Review. We have All Out tomorrow. So, as always, what I like to do is I like to go over everything that happened in the world of AEW from BTE to Dark to Dynamite. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. Check me out. Like I said, All Out is tomorrow. I'll be doing a preview and predictions video after my Week in Review. But because I have that and I also do my WWE Week in Review, I want to get through all this as quickly as possible, so we're going to jump right in. So we're going to start with BTE. So this one was called You're Out of the Elite, obviously alluding to what happened on Dynamite last week when Hangman cost the Bucks their opportunity to vie for the tag team titles by holding Nick's leg, which then caused the pin by the Best Friends. It's early, so I got to get up. So we get the Dark Order, in their room chanting "Fuck Hangman" with Brody on the riding lawnmower. Something that doesn't get mentioned till later, but I noticed was Alan Angel's wearing a long blonde wig under his mask because he said he was going to buy hair because he didn't want to wear the mask anymore. So we get the Bucks at home, about to fly out to Jacksonville. They have advanced copies of their book, which apparently is number one on Barnes & Nobles. I might check that out. Then they're wearing their face masks, obviously, and they're making fun of Matt because he botched his facial hair. He no longer has the full beard. They also check out a local Walmart to see if the toys are there, but most of them are sold out. There are a couple of Cody and Kenny, but all the Young Bucks are gone, which is a good thing, obviously. The Dark Order, so the chanting that was actually by ringside when they were riding the lawnmower. They're back in their room now. Angel is showing off his hair. Reynolds is beefing about who has the best hair. Anna Jay comes in, is looking for money from Stu because on Twitter she said that Stu said he'd give her $20 if she choked out Brandy. Silver tries to hit on her really bad, and it's funny though because Silver is just absolutely hysterical. And then Stu and Silver are arguing who the best kisser is, as if they're going to try it on each other. It was really funny. And then Reynolds wants to celebrate Brody Lee by dancing for him, and it looks terrible, and Brody wants Uno to hit Silver because how bad Reynolds is. So we get the EVPs talking about their shoes, their shoe game in the room. Hangman's actually there with him. Everyone's mad at Matt for losing the Chili's money. They're making fun of him for losing the beard. He brings Cracker Barrel, but they all think that, oh, you mean you get a sponsorship? What's that mean? And he was like, nope. Just the food. Nick is saying, do you want me to have a singles run as the merch freak? Because I'll freaking do it. Colt needs to find Doc Samson. His face is all bandaged up. He doesn't believe it's fixed, even though everyone's telling him it's fixed under the bandage. He goes to see Britt Baker, saying that she's a doctor. She's the only one that can fix him, but she says, I can fix your teeth, but I'm not going to because you're an asshole. Closes the door. We had Cutler and Avalon backstage. He says, see what happens when you bring a book, because on Dynamite, Avalon accidentally hit Cutler with the book, and that led to their losing. Leva says the world goes on this long speech about how the world is great, can't be all good, can't be all bad. They need to meet in the middle, so we end up seeing what happens on Dynamite. We get Christopher Daniels. He says Silver and Reynolds are the most popular thing on being the elite, so he wants them to help them be the new spokesman for his new 50 plus seconds for 50 plus about some kind of vitamins. And Dark Order, as he picks it up, he realizes that Dark Order switched the thing of vitamins with Kool-Aid. Silver says he ate all the vitamins and he's super jacked up, and he's trying not to laugh, but it's pretty funny because he's just acting all like roid rage. Cutler teaching how to change the oil in a car for his 50 plus for 50 plus. They crack a joke about Brandon, how he's been going down in every match. They said lead drain for 10 to 20 minutes, basically the length of an MJF promo, which I thought was funny. But they talked about cleaning up because they didn't want to run a sloppy shop. So they're throwing all the digs in, both within AEW and WWE. Bucks talking to Jurassic Express about the match on Dynamite. Who gets the heat. They keep giving, everyone keeps giving Luchasaurus shit about not being able to do a Canadian Destroyer. They say, what's your deal? Because this has been going back for a while, how he can't hit a Canadian Destroyer, even though he's a giant man, so it's easy to see why he wouldn't be able to. But he says that his ex was Canadian. I don't know that reference. I don't know if he had a girlfriend or ex-partner or something. because I don't think Super Panda was from Canada, but I don't know for sure. Best friends have a tripwire set up for Cutler. They'll fall and then they'll stab him. Orange doesn't listen to them when they say go now and pull it, so it's too late. Turns out it was just tape anyway, not a rope. We get the shot from Dynamite of Hangman costing the Bucks the match. We then get this kind of montage, sad music of just everybody, kind of figuring out what to do next. The final shot is Kenny. He's in his car, and then you see him with the rearview mirror, and then the next shot is him with the cleaner glasses on. So is this really, are we seeing the cleaner come back? Like, here we go. And that is BTE. That was a little longer than I normally take. Actually, not really. It's only 5 minutes. So we get to Dark, and first off, Excalibur is back. I mean, he said that he had an extended sabbatical at some point, but so happy to hear Excalibur's voice again. He's great. The fans are there at this episode of Dark. So we start out with Eddie Torres versus Shawn Spears. We get Spears with the cheap shot when the ref couldn't see. He's in total control of this. Hits the C4 DVD for the win. Tully immediately gives Spears the plate, puts in the glove, and he goes to town on a post-match beatdown on Eddie Torres. They got to give a little more substance to Shawn Spears at this point. I mean, we saw him kind of, skulk down to the ring during the casino battle, melee, which we'll talk about on Dynamite. Obviously, we need to see, I want to see, his connection to FTR in this group, because they keep doing the three. So I want to see, what they're doing there with that. Are they going to, link the three of them and then wait for the fourth, or what? They haven't really said it. Is Tully just the three, and Tully's just on the side with Spears in a completely separate thing? They got to flesh that out a little more. Santana and Ortiz versus Fabio Andre and Ryzen. Santana hits the Three Amigos. We get a sit-out powerbomb into a front kick on Fabu for the win. But the more important thing is they do a post-match promo. Best friends got balls, caught them slipping. Ortiz tells Sue to stop hitting them up, and they left his drawers at the crib for her. We obviously see more of that later on. Allie versus Cassandra Golden. Allie's out with QT. It's the first match since the loss in the tourney. We had a back elbow, twisting neck breaker by Allie. She's now abusing QT on the outside, that he's not giving her a kiss quick enough, or not helping her get back into the ring, and all this stuff. We have side slam by Golden for a 2 count, and then we get down the rabbit hole eventually by Allie for the win. So now now that QT's back, she's showing less concern for him, and it's kind of going back to the way it first was, where she's just kind of just abusing him. Dasha meeting with Santana Ortiz in the parking lot. The best friends surprise attack him. Dasha was a little corny. She's like, guys, we need to get someone back here. You're a much better actor than that, Dasha. I have seen you do much, much better work. It was a little corny, but it is what it is. It's dark, and it's backstage stuff. Really good match here, Kaz and Angelico. I really think both of them could be, at least mid-card champions, maybe even better if they're packaged right. But both come out alone, not with their tag team partners. They get really great sequences by both of them. Clash styles. Angelico is more of the Mexican submission style. Kaz more just American. Catch can. Now Angelico hits what Excalibur calls Navarro Once lock. It's kind of like I think it's kind of a version of the figure 4. Kaz gets to the ropes. A ground octopus with a leg lock hold, and then by Angelico, he's transitioning into multiple holds. I mean, he's just really, really good. I really enjoy watching him work. Kaz gets some offense in, springboard leg drop for a 2 count. Kaz goes for the Rage's Edge. It's countered into a Scorpion Death Drop. I don't know, I'm sorry. Angelico goes for a Razor's Edge. It's countered into a Scorpion Death Drop by Kaz for the win, but it looked really rough. It looked like he dropped him straight on the back of his head. Didn't look like there was any kind of cushioning by Kaz, but he seemed okay, Angelico. So Kaz gets the win. 2 singles wins in a row. We'll see what they're doing with this, because right now it's just relegated to Dark. We're not really getting an understanding of what is going on with SCU now. We got Sky going to be in that 4-way that 8-man tag. Obviously ever since he lost the TNT title, he's kind of been quiet. Kaz has been doing some kind of weird on his own things where he was scouting tag teams at some points, but he's also been wrestling a couple solo matches. I assume that Christopher Daniels, he's in the tag matches, but I think they're just trying to, as the fact that he's, obviously, I think he's a producer and talent relations, and also that he's 50, so they're trying to, kind of protect him in that sense, which makes sense. But they just really haven't really established what is going on, so. We get a Tony interview with Brandy. So says has a problem with a trainee who listened to Daddy Brody and choked her out. Being pretty doesn't mean shit anymore. Being smart is what matters. If you're going to take aim at the queen, you best not miss. But challenges Anna to a match. Obviously this wasn't set up for All Out. I don't know when this is going to be. It's probably going to be some kind of Dynamite match, or at least I hope it's on Dynamite. We get Donnie Primetime and Ryan Rembrandt versus the Gun Club. Obviously, Donnie is Janela's cousin. He's got the Joey Janela starter kit, as they said on commentary, which is pretty funny. Great. So one of the best things about Dark is always been the commentary back and forth between Excalibur and Taz. Obviously, that was missing for a while. But Excalibur gets this rib on Taz about how Austin started out this thing called the Gum Club because he was handing out gum to wrestlers before he got into it. And Taz actually bought it for a little while, then realized it was a rib. It was pretty funny. Not much of a match. Austin hits the quick draw, which is the hip toss neck breaker for the win. They're 6-0 now, the Gun Club. So obviously, I'd like to see them start to maybe branch out, get some more. Because obviously, it's 6-0 on Dynamite. I don't think they've fought any of the any real substantial talent yet. But at 6-0, that is causes for them to possibly be on Dynamite, or in the the rankings. So that would be interesting to see. Give Billy Gunn some love there. We then get Danny Jordan versus Abaddon. Jordan still using the Mean Girls gimmick with the burn book. Abaddon attacks Jordan's knee with the one that she has a brace on. She's doing some of these leg DDTs. Jordan driven face first into the apron, and then Abaddon hits a knee bar on Jordan, forces her to submit, so another win by Abaddon, and I think she's in the rankings now too. One thing I've noticed in pretty much every Abaddon match, she takes a lot of punishment. She more that so than you would think from her character and the way she's being booked. But I'm fine with that because it just seems like she's just all over the place. She's going to take that beating, but she's not actually hurt by it. You know what I mean? Kind of like an Undertaker type vibe. Takes the punishment, but is able to just dish it out. I'm totally fine with that. I know some people, don't like when people, above sell to people below, kind of makes them look bad. I'm perfectly fine with it. I think she's good. I think they could be doing even more with her character, but they just haven't really yet. Ricky Starks versus Tony Donati. We get a missile drop kip up by Starks. It's the Rochambeau for the win. Fairly standard. Jurassic Express versus John Cruz and David Ali. Stun on crutches, courtesy of Hager. So I don't know if that was a shoot or a kayfabe injury, but he did get the shit kicked out of him by Hager last week. Cruz is outmatched by Luchasaurus. Ali faring pretty much worse. Jungle Boy, such a beautiful springboard arm drag. I really, really enjoy it. We had a tail whip flatliner on Ali. Cruz breaks the pin. Eventually we get the tombstone kind of cutter combo for the win by Jurassic Express. We then get Anna Jay versus Red Velvet. I haven't seen a lot of Anna Jay since the tournament. Also, just in general, just in singles matches. Red Velvet, she was the one who got knocked out by Sheeta in like 5 seconds. So the whole Dark Order without Brody is out there with Anna Jay to escort her. Excalibur mentions Tay Conti recruitment, Team Tay. So we haven't seen Tay Conti. I know she's posted some stuff on social media with her, with the Dark Order materials, but we haven't really seen, anything from that, even though she did hug Anna Jay, signaling that she was joining the Dark Order, but we still haven't seen anything since then. Velvet goes for a split trip. Anna hits her with the natural selection, at which she won with during the tournament, so I thought that was going to be a finisher, but I guess not. Anna attacks on the outside, a wild toss into the barricade. Red Velvet took that like a champ. We had two like stomps where she puts her foot to the back of Red Velvet's face, stomps her into the mat, and then a rear naked choke for the win. So obviously they're going with the chokehold, obviously, as what she did to Brandy. So they're kind of going with that. Shawn Dean versus Kip Sabian. Something that I actually contacted AEW, which I doubt they'll respond to. I'm curious as to how they determine what they're going to do with their lower thirds, because Shawn Dean had his AEW 2 weeks ago had his AEW career record as 0-13, and then his singles record the next week is 0-8. But both were singles matches. So why the difference between your career and your singles? Like, why do you change it up? You know, I was just curious about that, if they have a specific reason, or it's just kind of whatever they feel like doing at that time, or do they have like a rotation for each person depending on singles, tag team, or, you know, trios or whatever else they might be in. So Kip rocking the Ezekiel Elliott crop top. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and the sunglasses during the match. Obviously they get knocked off, the sunglasses at least. Does the PK wide left by the voicemail. We get the PK wide left by the ref. Dean with ugly German suplex. Looked like it just absolutely just killed Sabian. I was nervous for a second. We had a pop-up knee strike, twisting, draping neck breaker by Kip Sabian for the win. Says he took his eye off the prize last week against Kaz, but he's still upset. He says stop feeding him opponents who aren't on his level. This is something that he alluded to 2 weeks ago. Where he was just, you know, he said like kind of like Scorpio Sky. He doesn't want to put down Dark, but at the same time he wants some more established competition. Problem is he got established competition in Kaz and then lost, so we'll see. And then we get our main event, the Initiative versus Private Party. So we get a good double team by the Initiative on Quinn. Their Initiative are sent to the outside. Leva tries to regroup them. Avalon taking out everybody, does a split-legged moonsault on Cassidy for a 1 count. Does a springboard moonsault by Quinn, takes out both the Initiative on the outside. Then Quinn hits the Fosbury flop, which is basically the twisting tope con hilo to the outside, hits Avalon with it. Leva attempts to do a Rana off the apron to Quinn. Quinn actually cartwheels out of it. Cutler with the 450 on Quinn from the top, which actually looked really good. Cassidy sneaks in for a small package win. So Avalon then attacks Cutler and then hits Cutler with his own D20 dice, so it looks like the Initiative is over. I've been saying for a while that I think that they really need to build this up even on Dynamite and have them finally have this match for who's going to get the first win. I think it would actually be a really good match if they play it right and they do the right build for this, because right now it's been pretty much BTE and Dark. Nothing on Dynamite. I think they need to establish this more on Dynamite and really pump this up, because I really think this could be really cool. I think the crowd would really get behind it. Both winless guys, but they both have a lot of they're both pretty, I guess, popular in that sense. Like, I think the librarian gimmick at first was a huge joke, running through BTE, running through the beginning of AEW, the search for the librarian, all that stuff. I thought it really worked. Since then, they really haven't leaned into the librarian shtick at all. But Cutler with the 2 contracts and his backstory and his family life and all that kind of stuff, I think that would actually be really cool. So that is Dark for this week. And finally, we are at Dynamite. So we start out right away with Santana and Ortiz versus the Best Friends. This is the grudge match where apparently if Santana and Ortiz lost, they would have to apologize via voicemail to Sue. So we get the video recap. We don't see many of these in AEW, like before matches. So, you know, it was good though, because obviously they have a long history. Best Friends jump him on the ramp. Trent does a crossbody off the stage. We get Chuck is pulling out all these chairs. He's building something. Trent gets a spear on Ortiz. Santana with a massive chair shot on Chuck. And then hoisted on his own petard, as they like to say. Chuck is tossed into that chair creation. The bell finally rings, though, because all this was happening before the bell even rung. Trent hits a meteor on Santana. Then a tornado DDT on Ortiz. Chuck is still knocked out, barely even moving. Trent does a suicide dive on Ortiz, but he missed the spear on Santana into the barricade. Chuck finally gets in. He's cleaning house. Does a tope con hilo on both. Hits the soul food. Then a falcon arrow on Santana. Ortiz breaks the count. We get the sexy Chucky knee by Trent on Santana. Trent gets knocked off the apron onto the stairs that were set up. That looked a little rough. Chuck stops them from doing a street sweeper. Trent hits a crunchy roll, but the ref isn't there. Oh no, Santana puts Ortiz's arm on the ropes to break up the pin. So while the ref isn't looking, Santana used the telescoping baton, hits Trent in the back. They hit the street sweeper for the win. So I mean, this is obviously not done between the two of them. Obviously they're taking Trent and Chuck out of the title picture. I think they were top 3 team right now, but obviously this program with we need some kind of really wild stipulation heavy match between the two. Obviously, I think they're both in the Casino Battle Royale, so they'll probably cancel each other out at some point. We get a MJF promo backstage. Lee interrupts him, and obviously MJF isn't happy, but he says that Mark locked himself in the room. That is the lawyer. Wardlow, just kicks open the door. MJF hits him with the pep talk, and don't be in the way of my goals. Either get in the ring or get in the goddamn wood chipper. That was obviously pretty wild. We then get our match that had all-out implications. So the winning teams, so it's a 4-on-4, and whatever winning side, those two tag teams will face each other at All Out. We have SCU and Private Party versus the Bucks and Jurassic Express. So only SCU and the Bucks got the actual entrances because they kind of did it between commercial breaks. So because it was one on each side, so I was fine with that. That obviously didn't give the jobber entrance in the sense or telegraph anything, even though we knew who was going to win this. The Bucks don't even do their pose; they just go straight to it. You see that they obviously have a purpose. They have kind of an edge to them. Matt's super aggressive. He's getting frustrated. There's a fan that has a sign that Hangman drank my beer. He rips the sign, dumps the beer on the guy. Obviously a plant. Bucks don't want to tag in Jurassic Express. They just want to keep tagging in each other. Kaz gets a great offensive set in finally. Slingshot cutter on Nick. We get Christopher Daniels with the Arabian moonsault on the Bucks to the outside. Isolation of Jungle Boy by during picture-in-picture by the other teams. Jungle Boy hits an Olympic slam on Cassidy. Hot tag to Luchasaurus. I mean, he's so impressive and stuff. And I love that he's, getting all his offense in. And he looks at the camera. He's like, "Dinosaur, come back!" I thought that was really funny. We get a stereo risky business where each they kind of paired each other up with one member of each team with Jurassic Express and the Bucks. I thought that was really cool. SME. What does SMA stand for? Shooting Star on Jungle Boy. The SME, I'm assuming was some move that I can't remember right now. Shooting Star on Jungle Boy, and then Lucha breaks the count. I can't remember what that is. Whatever it is, the Bucks hit the BTE trigger on Quen for the win. They don't even raise their hands with Jurassic Express. They just walk to the back. And I don't know if it's so much like they were just angry at Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. It's more the fact that they're just angry in general after what happened with Hangman. So apparently Jake Hager has his own camera crew today, but he only uses it for one segment. He goes into Orange Cassidy's room, sits down next to him, and then Cassidy puts his leg on Hager. Hager pushes his leg off, says Jericho requests him at ringside for his match with Joey Janela. Cassie's holding on to a backpack, looking through it, so obviously that'll play in later. Tully giving FTR a pep talk. The prize is right in front of you. You have to go and take it. And they're doing they're doing the 3 fingers. So it's like, I don't know if it's the 3 of them. I don't know if it's FTR and Spears. I don't know if this is like, we got one more to get so we can get to the 4. Like, I don't know. And commentary hasn't really talked about it, so I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. Obviously, Spears is the logical connection because of him and Tully, but we just haven't seen anything yet. Tony interview with Kenny. Kenny looking beach casual. What do you want? Kenny, and then they ask him, what Hangman did. What Hangman did, he'll have to live with it the rest of his life. FTR fooled him, and that, that's just something he's just going to have to deal with. FTR and Tully come out with a cooler. They like Kenny. They're looking forward to having a great match. They want to toast him with some chocolate milk. He says, They, they know him only for a couple months, but they know he can't resist a shock. Says, but he'd rather, not spend any more time with these dickheads or bitch asses or whatever it says. It gets bleep, but you hear dickheads. He says, look, if this is just going to be a 2-on-1 beatdown, oh wait, make that 3, because he's counting Tully, but he said, get Tully away, I can smell his depends from here. He's like, let's just get it on. Hangman shows up, he's got like the bloodshot eyes, he's got like the makeup under it, looking like he's completely out of it. FTR keep going at him, saying, tell Kenny who made you do this, because it wasn't us, it was you. You're insecure, you're so easily manipulated, we didn't even have to do anything, blah blah blah. And then he starts to try and get in FTR's face. Kenny's saying, look, don't let them do this to you, they drop the titles. FTR grabs the titles, drops them on the floor, disrespecting them. Hangman picks them both up, reaches back to give Kenny back his title. Kenny's already out of the ring because he doesn't want to even look at Hangman right now. He's just not happy. So he leaves just looking super disappointed, leaving Hangman by himself in the ring. We get a backstage interview with Jericho. He did not call Alex Marvez a fathead for the first time, I think. But he said, he's made Cassidy into a main event and star. He's like, do you ever wonder about experiencing something for the first time, like kissing a woman? But he says, because he's a main event star, that's why I got to put a bullet in his head. I got to put a stop to him. Janela's just a sacrifice. We then get Chris Jericho versus Joey Janela. Cassidy comes from the stands with the backpack. Jericho's wearing a Cassidy shirt. Jericho's all over Janela, calling out Cassidy over and over. Janela tries to springboard from the outside into the ring, gets caught with a code breaker, gets put in the walls of Jericho for the win. We get a post-match beatdown. Janela gets face first into the exposed turnbuckle. He's busted open. Jericho rubs Janela's bloody face on the t-shirt, so the Cassidy t-shirt is all bloody. And then Cassidy does come in. Hager attacks them. Sonny Kiss comes in, lays out Jericho. Then Hager puts out Jericho, pulls out Jericho before there's a Superman punch. Cassidy opens his bag, has a little bit of the bubbly, pours some out, does the thumbs down, setting up for their Mimosa Mayhem match. So we get a recap of the Matt Hardy and Sammy from last week. Sammy challenges him to a rubber match. Hardy can pick the stipulation. Hardy picks a broken rules match, but also says if he loses, he's leaving AEW. So we get the picture-in-picture. Sammy comes out with the cue cards. He doesn't see Hardy high above. Eventually, Matt has his own card, something about being broken. So it's going to be, we find out that the rules of the match is the last man standing, anything goes. And that's going to be the broken rules match, which is going to be interesting, even though it's pretty telegraphed by the whole, what's his name? Matt Hardy leaves AEW if he loses. So we get Team Taz out. This was just a mess. This was so WWE style. One of the few things. So overall, just so you know, I really, this episode of Dynamite as a go-home episode was probably one of their weaker ones overall. There was a couple, this segment was WWE-like. And then when you find out, some of the extra things, so Tony Khan is in Europe at this point, and Cody is off filming the show with Stephen Amell, so it doesn't look that great for Kenny and the Bucks, because it looks like they were pretty much in control of this, and it wasn't that it was bad, it just seemed a little all over the place. It was still entertaining. You could tell there was just something off about it, and I think just that steady hand of Tony and Cody, I think, shows that, you do need the full complement of people. I'm not saying that the Bucks and Kenny couldn't produce a good episode. I just think that when you have everyone together with all the collaboration and everything fleshed out, it helps, because also, if you're involved in a couple of things and you're trying to book and be the showrunner for it, it can get a lot. So obviously it helps to have Tony back there, because he's not involved in the storyline, so he can just focus totally on all the decisions there. So Starks is going to murder Darby. One of them is going to win. Jake and Lance come out. You interrupted us last week. We're returning the favor. Team Taz is best set of losers he's ever seen. Kingston comes out with his crew, says this show is live. We got to get going. You guys talk too much. Spears and Tully come out. A fight breaks out. Some people who I don't even know would be in the match. I think some of the jobbers and other enhancement talent come into it. Darby comes in, goes right after Starks. Hager, Santana, and Ortiz come out. Best Friends come out to meet them. And the fight is going on during picture-in-picture. This is totally WWE style, like before like a Survivor Series or a Royal Rumble or some kind of ladder match where all the participants get involved. Not really a fan of it, but it is what it is. I'll get into more of the Casino Battle Royale in my predictions video. We got a Dark Order video package. Kind of talking about the 8-man tag that's going to happen at All Out. Everyone kind of gets their own say. I do like Cardona's like, I don't even work here, so I got nothing to lose. And he's like, Brody Lee, you were you would think you were held back. Well, get in line. So we get Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb, I believe, was a producer and trainer in NXT for a while. Thunder Rosa, obviously the NWA champion, will be fighting Shida at All Out. Excalibur's given like an NWA backstory, which is pretty cool. Deeb attacking the Nia Thunder Rosa back in command after the break. We had a DVD on Deeb for a 2 count. Eventually Thunder Rosa hits the Thunder Driver for the win. Serena Deeb actually looked really good. Got a lot of offense in. I know, like as I said earlier, I know people like to say, Thunder Rosa has this match. You want to make her look strong. You're not making her look strong by having Serena Deeb, get so much offense in. I'm fine with it because Thunder Rosa just, she's still not, hasn't been wrestling for so long, but she's really talented. And obviously, some people just need to kind of get into the flow of a match. Some people just don't walk in and automatically dominate. I mean, she's not exactly physically imposing, so it wasn't like she was just going to come in and just beat the shit out of Serena Deeb. And Serena Deeb has like over a decade's worth of experience, and she's obviously good. So I wouldn't mind seeing some more of Serena Deeb. We get a backstage promo from Mox telling MJF not to get nervous, ready to kill or be killed. 2020 is bad enough without MJF running around as world champ. Typical Mox promo. We get a Big Swole interview at ringside facing Britt during the buy-in. Heffa, I'm showing up at your job. So we find out it's going to be a tooth and nail match. Kind of, I think the first... Well, actually not the first cinematic, because obviously the Stadium Stampede match was a cinematic match, but this will be an interesting one. And I think it's good because obviously we don't know the full health of Britt Baker yet, so this will obviously protect her. So we get a pizza delivery woman showing up. Obviously it's Rebel. Swole says, I know it's you, you're not fooling anyone, but then Britt comes from behind, attacks her with the crutch. They smash her face in the pizza, and then she applies the lockjaw. They then put more pizza on her. So we're going to get a special edition of Dark on Friday. I'm actually going to count that toward my next week's weekend review, so I'm not going to talk about it, because it's obviously tonight, so I'm not going to do that. So we're going to so we get the lineup for this weekend. So we get this, tonight will be a special edition of Dark. Saturday we're going to get the All Out Red Carpet Special Part 1 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Countdown to All Out at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Red Carpet Part 2 at 6:30 p.m. And then we get the buy-in at 7 and All Out at 8, starting at 8. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see what they do with the red carpet stuff. That'd be pretty cool, kind of, giving it like kind of like a real, big time feel for it. Obviously, the limited amount of fans and whatnot. So I'm interested to see what that. I do like that they're doing everything they can to try and push how big this is. So, real quick, sorry. What we got going on here? Nonsense. We then get our main event. Mox versus Mark Sterling, the lawyer. So Wardlow tosses him through the tunnel, make sure he gets in the ring. Mox gives him a free shot. He misses, catches a slap. Attorney gets an eye poke, and that's pretty much it. Mox burying him under a table and chairs on the outside. Hits the paradigm shift for the win. Wardlow in, hits him with 2 F10s. MJF out. He tosses the walker, takes off the neck brace. Clearly we knew that he didn't need them. He asked for the Dynamite ring. Wardlow puts on his finger. He knocks out Mox. Mox is busted open. He then bites Moxley's face and then puts the blood, wipes the blood on himself. He looked pretty savage and pretty crazy. And that's how we go off the air. MJF standing tall, all covered in Moxley's blood. And so there we go. That is that is Dynamite, and that's the week for AEW. So as always, I do my match of the week. So because this wasn't heavy on like really big matches, I'm gonna give the 8-man tag SCU Private Party versus the Bucks and Jurassic Express. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was obviously a good showcase of all the tag teams. These are 4 of the top tag teams in a very heavy tag team laden organization. Bucks and Jurassic Express are going to put on just an absolute banger of a match, I think. Unless they, for storyline reasons, they kind of do something else and go another way. But, like, just on pure talent and the way these guys work, I think they can put on an absolute banger. But, yeah, no, I thought it was a really fantastic match. Bucks look good. I like the fact that they're pissed off. They're not just happy-go-lucky at this point. They're not just happy to be here. And Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus is just an absolute beast. Jungle Boy, I mean, I know they keep starting and stopping with him, giving him stuff and then not. Obviously, they're just trying to find the right niche for him. Obviously, during the pandemic right now, obviously, everything's been thrown out the window and what they're planning on doing. So yeah, that is AEW Weekend Review. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. I'll put a link to my predictions video, not right away because I filmed the predictions video, and then I'll link it back, and I'll have basically back and forth there. I'll do my reaction results review on Sunday. I'm also going to try and get done my my WWE Weekend Review either today or tomorrow. So as always, be safe, love each other, have a very safe Labor Day and fun weekend, and bye now.